The house at the end of the winding road was a relic of another time. Its weathered bricks were choked with ivy, and its windows stared out like hollow eyes. The Thompson family had inherited it from a distant relative, a woman whose name no one spoke aloud. For Emily, the 8-year-old daughter, the house was a treasure trove of mysteries. She loved exploring its shadowy corners, her footsteps echoing through the empty halls. On their first night in the house, as the family unpacked boxes by the dim light of a single lamp, Emily's father handed her a small wrapped package. It was covered in dust, the paper yellowed with age. "This was in the attic," he said, his voice tinged with curiosity. "It's addressed to you." Emily tore open the wrapping paper with eager hands. Inside was a teddy bear. It was old, its fur matted and its once bright eyes now dull and glassy. But there was something about it, something that made Emily clutch it tightly to her chest. "What's its name?" she asked, looking up at her parents. Her mother frowned. "I don't know, sweetheart. It doesn't say." That night, as Emily lay in her new bed, the teddy bear sat on the nightstand beside her. The house was quiet, save for the occasional creak of the floorboards. Just as she was about to drift off to sleep, she heard it. A soft, almost imperceptible whisper. "Emily." She sat up, her heart pounding. The room was dark, the only light coming from the moon outside her window. She looked at the bear, its glassy eyes glinting in the pale light. "Don't be afraid," the whisper came again, this time clearer. "I'm here to protect you." Emily hesitated, then reached out and pulled the bear into her arms. Its fur felt warm against her skin, and the whispers continued, soothing her until she fell asleep. At first, the whispers were comforting. The bear would tell Emily stories, sing her lullabies, and reassure her when she felt scared. But as the days passed, the tone of the whispers began to change. "Your parents don't understand you," the bear said one night. "They don't love you like I do." Emily frowned, clutching the bear tighter. "That's not true," she whispered back. "It is," the bear insisted. "They're hiding things from you. Terrible things." Emily's behavior began to change. She became withdrawn, spending hours alone in her room with the bear. Her parents noticed but chalked it up to the stress of moving. One evening, as they sat down for dinner, Emily looked up from her plate and asked, "Who's Margaret?" Her parents froze. "Where did you hear that name?" her father asked, his voice tense. "Teddy told me," Emily said matter-of-factly. "He said she used to live here. He said she was bad." Her mother's face paled. "Emily, we don't talk about Margaret. She's not part of our family anymore." But the bear had planted a seed of curiosity in Emily's mind, and that night as she lay in bed, she asked, "Teddy, who is Margaret?" The bear's voice was low and menacing. "She was your aunt. She lived here long ago. But she did something terrible, something unforgivable." Emily's heart raced. "What did she do?" The bear's glassy eyes seemed to gleam in the darkness. "She hurt people. She hurt children. And now she's here. In this house. With us." Emily's parents grew increasingly concerned. They found her talking to the bear at all hours of the night, her eyes wide and unfocused. One day, her mother decided to investigate the bear's origins. She searched the attic, sifting through old boxes and dusty photo albums. In one of the albums, she found a picture of a young girl holding the same teddy bear. The caption beneath it read, "Margaret, age 8, 1952. Her blood ran cold. Margaret had been her husband's aunt, a woman who had died under mysterious circumstances decades ago. According to family lore, Margaret had been troubled, prone to violent outbursts. But no one ever spoke of what had happened to her. As she dug deeper, she found a journal hidden in a locked drawer. The entries were written in a child's handwriting, but the words were chilling. Teddy says I have to do it. He says it's the only way to make them pay. They hurt me, so I have to hurt them back. The final entry was dated the day Margaret died. Teddy says it's time. He says we'll be together forever. Emily's mother realized with growing horror that the bear wasn't just a toy. It was a vessel for something dark, something that had been waiting for a new child to corrupt. Emily's parents knew they had to act quickly. They tried to take the bear away, but Emily screamed and fought, her small hands clawing at theirs. "She's mine," she shrieked. "You can't take her." That night, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. "They're lying to you," the bear said. "They want to hurt you just like they hurt me." Emily's father decided to confront the bear directly. He took it into the basement, where the shadows seemed to writhe and twist. He held a match in one hand, the bear in the other. "This ends now," he said, his voice trembling. But as he struck the match, the bear's eyes glowed a sickly green, and a voice, deep and guttural, spoke from the darkness. "You think you can destroy me? I am eternal. I am part of this house, and I will never let her go." The match went out, and the basement was plunged into darkness.